If you have a 6-figure crypto portfolio and it keeps round tripping every cycle, this is not bad timing. It's not the market. It's not a missed indicator. It's a single decision you keep making, staying emotionally attached to coins you should have cut months ago. Every time you wait to get back to break even, you lock capital into your past instead of your future. And if you don't change this one decision, the next cycle will look exactly like the last one. Let's look at the actual cost of this decision. So with this decision, your capital is stuck, right? You can't really access it, and it's just a mental block actually. And you're missing the rotations. You're missing to go from Bitcoin into certain sectors, altcoins. And with that, you also hesitate at the next opportunity. So you're missing out maybe on the AI revolution, maybe robotics, right? The next big thing. You're always missing out on that and not able to buy into those trends and win. All of this spills into your family, your career, maybe your business, because it takes away time, it takes away your peace and quality of life. Because if you're stuck in your portfolio and how you invest in crypto or even stock markets, you will be stuck in life too. So it reflects into your personal life too. The problem is not the market. It's the sunken cost fallacy. I don't know if you've heard of the sunken cost fallacy before. You probably have, but we will get into it and how to fix it. There's a quote by Mark Yusko. He was asked, what's the difference between the absolute best top 5 investors and the top 1%? And he said, they cut their losers faster than anyone, and they press their winners harder than anyone. This is the mindset that defines professionals. Because keeping a trade, a bad trade, is opportunity cost. It doesn't give you anything. If it's bad, cut it. If it's good, go and press it. So if you press a winner, it compounds strength, right? While keeping a loser compounds weakness. That's probably what you're experiencing. You're probably sick of your altcoins, or some of them. You bought them back in 2017, 18, maybe 2020, maybe in 2021 or 2022, or maybe just a year ago. And you're down 50%, 90%, maybe you're break even. And most of them aren't even slightly close to outperforming Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been outperforming, especially this cycle, most of the altcoins. It has reached new all-time highs, while most coins didn't even reach their old all-time highs. So you're probably sick of it. You're probably compounding your weakness, as you see from this example. You keep compounding your weakness, your weak altcoins that you never sold into strength. You have to understand that past efforts are not equal future returns. Again, past efforts are not future returns. So only because you did your research, you read 10 white papers, you joined the community, you watched 20, 30 YouTube videos on that specific coin or sector, the market won't refund that time back. It won't refund as a return on investment. Only if it's a good one, of course. And holding longer does not increase the probability of it being a better investment or getting back your gains. It only increases emotional attachment. It makes the problem worse. The sunken cost fallacy gets worse over time. So if you keep your losers and you keep them forever because you're so attached to what you did to get to them, because you read about it, you found them, you've heard so many good stories about it, you made your due diligence, you invested a lot of time and also money, and now you're at loss or around break even maybe, or even a profit, but compared to the rest of the market, it's a net loss. And with that, you're you're so attached to this coin that you're not willing to sell it. And I hear it all the time. People say, oh, I'll wait until I'm back to break even. Or I've held this too long to sell now. Think about this again. I've held this too long to sell now. What is that? Where does this come from? Imagine Warren Buffett would think like that. You sell when the facts change. You sell when you realize, okay, this coin, this asset might not be as good as I thought. Something better came up. Oh, the gaming trend is over. I should change into this trend. And the gaming trend will probably not come back in the next 12 months. What do I do during this time? Right? So the idea of, oh, I've held this too long, I can't sell it now, is completely off. Yeah, of course, you should sell it now for something that gives you back more. If you don't do that, you're just going to lose even more. It's better to even sell it at 50% loss, swap it into Bitcoin. That's in most cases, maybe not right now, by the way. This is not financial advice on when to sell. Just saying that it has been true for most of the time. It's probably better to move it into cash, Bitcoin, or another investment that will double it in a few months, years, while your might go up 20% or even go lower. So your loss might actually go break even when you finally sell into strength. So in practice, this is what happens in the market. Liquidity tightens in the market. Risk appetite falls. Bitcoin dominance rises, right? Bitcoin dominance goes up when altcoins bleed against Bitcoin. So Bitcoin outperforms altcoins. So imagine yourself, you heard, okay, altcoin season is around the corner. You went into altcoins from Bitcoin into altcoins, or maybe from cash. And then it goes the other way around. Bitcoin starts outperforming. Bitcoin goes 20% up, while altcoins go 10% up. Bitcoin goes down 10%. Altcoins go down 30% even. And when that happens, most of the retailers, they refuse to sell. They always say, oh, I'll sell when I get back to even. And I see this right now. I read a lot of comments actually in other videos, especially when it comes to retailers, retail influencers on YouTube. I like to watch them. Well, watch them and read their comments to see how the market is thinking. That's part of my analysis and how I time tops and bottoms. It's a small part, but it is definitely very important. And the last few weeks before the crash, October 10th, and then after the crash, well, the weeks before were, okay, I'm tired. I hope altcoin season is right around the corner. QE is about to start. Quantitative tightening is about to stop, and so on. And then when the crash happened, the comments were, I'm dead. I can't take this anymore. I'm sick of my alts. I just want to sell them at break even. I'm so done. Some would say that before. And I think when they got to that break even, some sold, and that's why they never went to their all-time highs. But now there's so much fatigue in the market, especially around retailers, that especially the ones that came into the market in 2020. They came in, bought altcoins, went from $10 to $50 in a week. They made 5x left and right. They just, threw a dart and it went 20x. And then we had the 2022 bear market, and most of the coins haven't come back since then. Some reached all-time highs, new all-time highs, or almost reached their previous all-time highs, but many of them are at loss. And if you compare them with Bitcoin, so you use the altcoin and compare it with Bitcoin on TradingView, you will see that most of them, they might be in profit, but against Bitcoin, they're at loss. So you could have just held Bitcoin all this time, all these years, and you would be at much greater profit. So people are sick. Instead of selling their altcoins, they're always telling you in the comments, I'll sell. They say, I hope for just one alt season. I wish for one alt season. And when that alt season comes, I just sell everything. I'm done with crypto, or I'm done with altcoins. I'll just go into Bitcoin. That's the state of the market right now. So for that not to happen, so ideally you want to be in altcoins when they go up more against Bitcoin and cash, of course. And you want to be in Bitcoin when altcoins underperform Bitcoin. So you would rotate into Bitcoin or cash to prepare for risk off. So when you see risk off in the future, a few weeks from now, for example, then you will rotate back into Bitcoin or cash. And when you redeploy into alts, that's only before a risk off phase again, a risk on phase again. So when you think, okay, Bitcoin has been doing, pretty good for a few weeks and is now consolidating at, for example, 100K, 120K. That's when I start buying and I see some reversal signs on Bitcoin dominance, meaning going down. That's when I rotate some of my Bitcoin or even cash into altcoins. In our case, that would be from the core, which is Bitcoin, the core bucket, into the harvest bucket, which would be altcoins. That's when you do it. You rotate, and that beats hope every time. And then when you see, okay, I think the risk on phase is over or soon to be over, I'll take profits and get out slowly into Bitcoin or maybe cash, which would be the third bucket, right? The dry powder bucket. And one thing that is really important with this, you're not married to your assets. You're not married to your coins. Don't treat it like a cult or like a contract you did with that project. You can still be part of the community and sell. You can still be a Bitcoiner and sell. Again, you also don't have to sell everything, but you should probably sell a good amount when we get to the tops. But you're not married to that asset. You don't owe Cardano, Solana, XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin. You don't owe them anything. Remember why you're in this. You're in this to better your future, to maybe pay off your mortgage, start a new business, get to your 10, 20, 30, 50 million target. Maybe if you're now 6 figures to your 1 million, 2, 3, 5 million target, which is very doable with crypto within just 2 years, 3 years, depending on where you start, of course. But you're not married to your assets, to your coins, so you can just sell them and buy them back later if you think they're a good trade. If they're not, you don't even have to buy them back. It's as simple as that. Also, one clean execution can pay for years of mistakes. So I've seen this before with clients. They come to me and the first thing I ask them is, how does your portfolio look like? And sadly, some of those people, they come to me and their portfolio looks like 30% Bitcoin and 70% altcoins and all kinds of altcoins. And if it's more than 20 altcoins more than 20 altcoins, it's more like a lottery ticket. I see the mindset, right? I understand it. Because they think, okay, I'll just throw 50K in this coin, 20K in this other meme coin I saw, another 5K in there. And if it does 1,000x, right, on a 5K investment, you have 5 million. And that's what they think. That's a very poor mindset. You shouldn't think like that. And you can fix that. It's easier than you think. And when they start selling those losers, because right now most of their altcoins are down 80%, 50%, or at max break even. they start selling all those coins, and they always come and tell me, okay, by the way, I forgot to mention this. They come and tell me, I'm sick of these altcoins. Bitcoin is literally holding up my whole portfolio. Their portfolio is, for example, one client, he came to me with 550,000 US dollars. And most of his portfolio was Bitcoin and then Ethereum and then some altcoins. And we had some major drawdowns, but they weren't as bad because his altcoins were pretty small. It looked pretty bad at first, but overall, since Bitcoin was his main holding, it didn't look that bad. And they always tell me Bitcoin carried their whole portfolio. Some did come where one specific altcoin made them huge gains, but that's rare, especially nowadays. And even if they did, they missed to sell. They round tripped it. They were married to the asset, right? To that coin. So once they start selling, I tell them, okay, let's do this and that. Maybe this would be a good strategy. Once they start selling those weak altcoins they bought 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, even longer ago, they unlock clarity. The moment they cut the weakness, the weak positions, and rotate properly, sometimes into cash, sometimes into Bitcoin or all other altcoins, they unlock clarity. They're somehow, once that's done, they're completely clear in their thinking, and that's true freedom. They finally understand, okay, we're at the top, now I gotta sell, okay, this and that, because before they would always be stuck in that thinking of, okay, I gotta go get break even. So when Bitcoin went to 120,000, some of their altcoins were at break even, so they wouldn't sell. They wouldn't even sell their Bitcoin, right? So they would wait, okay, maybe at 130, 140, maybe at 180,000. When Bitcoin is at 180,000, I think all altcoins in my portfolio will be at break even. That's when I sell. So that's what stopped them. This is the single decision that keeps you trapped at 6 figures. And when you cut the weakness in your portfolio, you unlock clarity. Once you make this change and you do it all clean, you gain back freedom. Finally, you're free. You now handle a true portfolio. You have your Bitcoin, your cash position. Maybe you have stocks too. I'm here specifically talking about crypto. You could even have real estate and so on. You have a few altcoins you're betting on because, not as of now, but at that time, you think that altcoins could outperform. You've seen it in the charts. Bitcoin dominance could go down, and AI seems to be a trend right now. So you go into AI coins and they're pumping and so on. So you gain back that freedom of rotating between coins. You're not married to them. You're not marrying them either when you get a new one. Just buy, sell, and so on. And if they go down 10% and you realize, okay, this was a bad one, honestly, not because it went down 10%, because you got new facts, I'll sell it, buy Bitcoin, buy another coin that's going to be better. Obviously, you always have to think and do your due diligence and know what you're doing, of course. Also, you gain back time. You have less screen time. You're not always looking at your charts with that ache. It's almost a heartache when you have those losers in your portfolio. They drag you down. It's like something bad is with you, a bad spirit. Also, you will make much faster decisions, much faster, and because you'll have that clarity in your mind. Bitcoin will be at the top, and you'll understand. Okay, this is the top. I see the indicators. I see everything flashing up. This is the top. I'm doing this decision instead of having to go through 100 coins and, okay, this one's break even, but this one's not. And sometimes it's just a few $1,000s that it doesn't really matter in that case. And also, you're less emotional, less noise. You're finally yourself. You're back at your true self. You have less stress. You don't have to rely on hope. That's why you have stress too, right? You always rely on that hope on hope, but you can't control the markets really. You can only control yourself and what you do, your strategy, your portfolio, but you can't control the markets. So you gotta accept that one coin might never come back, right? And you likely won't buy that project and, make it go parabolic or whatever. So you have no control. Also, your returns will be much higher, because now you can rotate cleanly between all the assets, between the market phases, risk on, risk off, bear market, bull market, sell at local tops, buy at local bottoms, sell at the cycle top, and buy back at the cycle bottom, right? So to beat this sunken cost fallacy, you have to be strong, get over it, understand that it's like a bad spirit that is following you or in you. And if you do that, you gain back freedom. You gain back your portfolio. So if you're done with hoping for the next cycle to get better, to sell everything at break even, if you're managing 6 to 7 figures in crypto, make sure to check the link below. You can find out how it can help you. That's it for today. May God bless you.